I will go ahead and call this meeting to order. I'll remind everyone, if we want to make a comment, we can unmute our microphones, but other than that, we should keep our microphones on mute to cut down on background noise and everything. It's good to see everyone after the holidays. 2021 is sure off to be a fantastic year. Just left that 2020 behind us, and no baggage or anything, but we're going to move forward, and we're going to make this a great year for us. And a big part of that is our staff at CVB that's going to make Nacogdoches a great destination place to be this year. So calling to order. We'll first consider an approval of the minutes from our November meeting. If I can get a motion.
I move.
Got it. Do I have a second? All right. Realize that those motions are difficult when we've all muted ourselves, but we'll get the hang of it. All in favor of approving the minutes from our November meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we approve the minutes, and we'll move on to our financial reports for December and January with Ms. Bartlett.
Cheryl is unable to be here. She had a family emergency, so we can briefly go through the financials.
I have some questions if you don't mind.
I'll see if I can answer them.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I see that we have received 42. This is the December report. We received 42% of our income from hot tax. We're only 25% into the year. Are we having a good year, or this is going to be dribbled out?
Well, they did change. Instead of receiving our portion of the remittance on a quarterly basis, we now receive it as it comes in.
Okay.
So it's hard to say. Well, I included the STAR report in the board packet that went out yesterday. So for December, we were down, 11% over December of the previous year. January will probably break even. I think the ice storm had most of our room inventory filled up for a day or two. So we're not doing any worse than we were, and we're doing a little bit better. But it's hard to say with the change in how we're receiving it, the frequency with which we're receiving it. It's hard to really compare.
Okay. I have several other questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
City contributions are pulling in about $2,100 a month. Now, I would assume that when we get into some of these dry months, that we can pay more than $2,100. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Right now, what they're doing, that's covering the cost of the benefits packages for staff and any other administrative costs that we are submitting for repayment. So it's just that we haven't a lot of those subscriptions and services and marketing insertions that they've agreed to pay, they just haven't hit yet. So
okay. All right, let me ask you on the servicing and events income, why was that not budgeted, and what is that money?
That's money that we're receiving as a result of Joanna and Joanna's hard work and Ashley's help in that, in securing sponsorship for the drive-in movie events that we're doing.
Okay, well, it's income, but I see that we budgeted $5,000 for that.
That was just for general servicing, and and usually those things cover like our hot beverage bar, which we've discontinued due to the pandemic. We kept it as a line item and kept some money in there just in case we recovered faster, and we would have money there to do some things and a little bit of seed money where we need it.
Okay.
Here and there. But when we built out this budget in the summer, we didn't really anticipate having those drive-in movies being able to. So
under R&R trailer, we're showing a negative number. Is that an expenditure?
There is I couldn't tell you where it is on this sheet, but all of the rental fees associated with that restroom trailer goes into a special line item to cover the cost of cleaning and maintenance.
What,
So
why does that fall under expenses rather than income?
I'm sorry, Dr. Nelson, I am ill-equipped to answer that question.
I
Um,
understand.
I know that that's how it's been. It wasn't how it was before I got here, and there was a reason in reconciling between the city back in 2018, because that was a group venture purchase between the JCs, the city, and the CVB when it was originally purchased. It happens to be easier to run it through our books to hold on to that money. And really
Okay.
up until it was probably fiscal year 2019, we had not been um, setting aside that rental money to cover the cost of cleaning. So
Okay.
this was just a cleaner way to have it represented on our books. But it should be as a self-filling fund where the revenue and the expenses come out of that same line item.
And I have one other thing on the financial position. It seems that we went down about $10,000 in the checkings, but on special activities we went up about 10,000. Was that a transfer?
I have not signed any transfers, so I'll put that down to ask Cheryl about and
Okay.
email you an answer to that.
Well, it seemed like one went up 10,000, the other went down 10,000. I said, well, maybe that was a transfer. Okay, I'm through.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the financials. John, you got to turn your mic on.
I second that motion.
All right, I got a motion second. Is there any further discussion on the financials? Okay, all in favor of approving the financials signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And before I move on to the next section, I'll just say I'm not going to speculate as to the condition of the hotels and occupancy. So I'll just deal with what is actual. And for this month of January, just personally speaking, we are pacing far above January of 2020 when there were no issues. So that is a very encouraging sign. Some of it is due to the weather that we had, certainly, and some folks unfortunately were left without power. But before that occurred, we were already well above pace of January of last year. So that's an encouraging sign. Will the trend continue? I sure hope so. But I don't know that for certain. I do know that construction on the south side of town is kind of helping with some of the base rooms down there as well. But that's just where we are right now. This month in January, we are pacing above last year, so that's an encouraging sign overall. But with that, I'll move on to staff reports and turn it over to Ms. Morgan.
Okay. The first thing is just to update. We weren't able to bring this to the board for a vote because honestly, your vote wouldn't have mattered. But the City of Nacogdoches Human Resources did a salary survey of all of the positions, and it went before council recommendations to start to address how our pay standards as a city compare against other cities of our size and demographics. And as such, our budget is going to be need to be adjusted because everybody across the board at the CVB to differing amounts based on the designation of their job title and job code did receive an increase in salary. So that hit in December So in in January's financial that we'll review in February, we'll see all in total, we're talking $5,000 to $7,000 for the year that we're going to have to account for. And I think this is one of those things, and I wasn't here when the decision was made to make us contracted employees of the city, but this is going to be something that we face moving forward whenever there's a cost of living adjustment or any other type of adjustment to the city pay scale. We're going to have to accommodate that within our budget. So when we build out this next budget, I mean, we can always pull from reserves. That's why we have reserves for those unexpected costs. Yeah, so we need to put a pin in this to address as we build out future budgets, because this is going to be just an evolutionary issue that comes up, and it works out to the benefits of our employees and sort of evens the playing field, and it helps the city attract more candidates for the open positions that we have. And this was the first step. And again, it did go before council, and they approved it, and NEDCO had to do the same thing. They had to make those adjustments as well, and they're set up similarly to us with a budget or a board and a budget outside of the city budget. So any questions or comments about that? Okay.
Sherry, in between real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to let y'all know Shay is on the call. I don't know if she's been heard yet, but she's the one up there on the phone where you see the phone number. And she just wanted me to let y'all know
Thank you,
that
Dana.
she could be counted present.
Yes. On the 2021 scope of work, so we have a standing contract with the city that covers the frequency with which we report to council, what exactly our agreement is, the things that we need to do to, such as getting our budget approved by council, taking things like that. That's already been signed. That's a contract that I sign annually with the city. We're going to be taking to council. It probably won't be until March. We're going to amend that contract to reflect two things. Since we are receiving our portion of the hot tax remittance as it's received, and the city has a more vested interest in it with their subsidy, they want to see more frequent reporting to council, and happy to accommodate that. So we're going to amend it that way. And then also City Manager Canizares has listened to the people that have approached him expressing a desire to open things back up when it comes to events and activities in the city. So in February, we will be taking that in front of City Council, Brian Bray with Community Services and Parks and Rec, and Joanna and myself and Jessica Sowell, who oversees Main Street and historic sites, to get council's direction on that move, and just to let them know a annual events calendar for the city with events that we know has been created and has resulted in over 60 planned events so far for 2021. And so that is the first step of that. And that doesn't really alter our contractual agreement with the city, but what does is sort of the second phase of that, which will allow for the CBD to play a more dominant role in the approval of events and events permits.
Hey, I have to go get
and you're okay. You're okay.
Sorry,
Joanna,
my kid is sick, so I was trying to be on the phone. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
that's totally fine. In discussions with Mario and just sort of looking at the skill set that is already in place and the mission and purpose of the different entities at play, it falls into reason that the CVB be that person and be that entity that takes the lead in that. We haven't really fleshed out all the details, but it is going to, that whole event permitting process for the city is going to undertake a big overhaul, and the CVB's Director of Sales and Promotions position, which Joanna has, is going to, as it stands right now in the discussions, is going to take the lead in that, which works to our benefit, because, you know, we are constantly needing to be in the know of what events are happening so that we can position ancillary events to make for a longer weekend, so we can fill out our community calendar, to make sure that it's rich with up-to-date and accurate content. So it ticks off a lot of boxes for us. It brings us into the position to look at what's already being offered and either come up with some other events that we can, and where we can, in those new events, find some revenue generating ones, which would help us to diversify our revenue income stream to not be solely hotel occupancy tax. So that is what, that piece of it, because that is a big switch in our contractual arrangement with the city. That will probably, like I said, take place in March once we really flesh that out. But just to let you know that that's what's percolating under the surface right now. And I'll stop talking about it. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Right. Yeah, that is a little bit of a philosophical change of the direction that we have went. So it is going to take some direction from the city and city council of exactly what they want us to fulfill and focus on. So that'll definitely need a few more meetings and some outlines and responsibilities redirected. So look forward to hearing how that is progressing, and certainly keep it on the agenda for our next meeting, so that we can discuss as needed with it.
Sure. And, you know, anecdotally, I delivered my annual report to City Council meeting before last. And in that meeting, Mayor Brophy did reference the fact of that switch, that philosophical switch from, you know, before the CVB was more event driven in marketing. And then we went to just, you know, marketing and promotion of events only with absolutely no events. And, you know, the mayor did make a positive comment that, you know, that we have the confidence of the current mayor and council that we have the ability now to do that and not stray too far from our stated mission and purpose of addressing the needs of the visitors and of marketing Nacogdoches as a destination. So yeah, we just want to get that in writing so everybody's clear. And you know, in the talks of what that might look like, the city was in a position to, you know, possibly create and open up a special events coordinator position, and that just seemed like a redundancy if we already have the ability and the skill set in an arm of the city already with the CVB. So, but yeah, we'll keep it on the agenda and keep you posted on that and take votes as necessary. But a lot of positives, I think, that one, that we're going to be able to tap into Joanna's skill set from her long legacy of working in special events and things of that nature. And, you know, that we do have the confidence of the powers that be and the possibility of some varied income streams. So plus. I see it all as a big positive. And then lastly, this is 2021 and our 25th anniversary. We've come up with a few ideas to sort of help celebrate that, bring awareness to it, and reinforce, our mission and purpose. One of the things that we're going to do is start to recognize on a monthly basis individuals and businesses that help to reinforce and progress the strength of tourism in Nacogdoches, and we're going to call that our Bright Stars after Mr. Bright, to reinforce his legacy and sort of keep his name in the forefront of things, because we're 25 years, we're fast approaching generations of people that did not have the honor or the privilege of knowing of him and knowing of his good deeds and his work. And the Charles Bright Visitor Center as a title, that name just sort of becomes wallpaper in the background. But we certainly would not be where we are today without his financial investment, his emotional investment. So we thought that was a good way to, again, honor his legacy and keep the spirit of his passion for downtown Nacogdoches in the forefront. So we're going to do that on a monthly basis. Every month we'll pick an individual in a business. We'll receive nominations. We'll be looking at our TripAdvisor reports. We're still kind of working out the kinks of the process of what that looks like, but we do want it to be where everybody can nominate somebody, and then what that recognition looks like. If it's, a cling that they can put on the front of their business, is it a yard sign? Is it both of those? That sort of thing. But look for more information about the Bright Star initiative. And then the second thing that we're going to be doing, again, to thank the community for supporting us for these 25 years, is to institute a micro campaign called we have a knack for giving back. And we are going to pick each month a different nonprofit in the community to highlight and bring awareness to them and their specific needs. We're going to have an anchor event to help bring awareness. And if it's, if February is going to be for instance, the Humane Society or Animal Shelter, well, we would have an anchor event maybe centered around Charlie's birthday, and do it in Festival Park. And then we can ask the animal shelter, what are their specific needs? Do they need towels? Do they need blankets? Do they need food? Do they need, what do they need? We'll do a one-time collection, but we'll spend a week or two using our platforms to educate the public on what their actual needs are, because sometimes there's a disconnect between what these organizations truly need and what the public gives them. And also educate the public on the different ways that they can help these different institutions, these different agencies in what they do. So even if they don't, maybe they don't have a lot of extra blankets now, maybe when they do spring cleaning, they'll find themselves, with towels or, whatever they have, or maybe that those organizations have a way to, monthly donate through something. But like I said, have a big anchor event each month for these different organizations, and then educate people so that it hopefully can spark a lifetime of giving back to reinforce our community partnerships. So Bright Star and Knack for Giving Back.
Sherry?
Yes, sir.
A number of months ago, we had a young man come and talk to us about what we can and cannot do with hot tax. Mm-hmm. With all of these new adventures, are we going to have problems with violating that hot tax?
It's a great question. But no, we see both of these happen to be really little to no cost involved. Purposely, so that we're not detracting our marketing dollars to something that focuses back on the community. Now the Bright Star falls right into the appropriate usage of hot tax, because we're awarding people that are helping us address the needs of tourists. So that one would not be a problem. The knack for giving back would be the only one. And we see enough unrestricted revenue from our gift shop sales and sponsorships and, you know, things of that nature that we wouldn't have to utilize our restricted funds.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Ms. Morgan, and look forward to, of course, the updates on our revisions for marketing and our scope as it moves forward. And with that, we will move on to sales and promotions with Ms. Temple.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I did want to say something to what Sherry was speaking of as far as the knack for giving back. One of the things we are tying back with that is the celebrations calendar. And basically that's your National Eat a Taco Day or Pet Friendly Day and things like that. So that's one of the ways that through this campaign, we are going to continue to put that tourism or spin on each one of those. So the reason why we did choose the animal shelter / humane society for this year is that in the month of February, it does give Ashley an opportunity to focus on National Love Your Pet Day, National Walking Day. January really is a tourism month, but it simply is a matter of time and being efficient and cranking up this program that we missed it. But our hope is come 2022, we have a better opportunity of getting on board on that, because those are fun things that we can talk about on our social media, and it also gives us an opportunity to highlight some of our attractions, restaurants, what makes us unique locally. So I did want to say that, Sherry, because that really does to me give us an opportunity to stay focused on our mission, which is also tourist and tourism. So with that, we do have a lot of new things on the books. I've got 2 groups right now that are still coming in April. One of them is the Texas Emergency Nursing Association. They will be at the Fredonia. They're going to play in our backyard on our streets. It is going to be the night before Wine Swirl. So we are creating a itinerary for them, not only to be here during their second quarter meeting, but to stay and purchase tickets for that event. One of the great advantages of now being part of what Main Street is doing downtown, citywide, in the county, this new calendar is just a place for us to put everything, and as Sherry mentioned, make sure that we have something solid for our Fridays leading into a Saturday event or vice versa. We're also looking at our 3-day weekends, which if you've heard me speak once, twice, 3 times, I feel like that's a missing for us as a community. It's a natural. There's a few of them, one a quarter, that we could focus on. And our first effort would be for Memorial Day weekend. We have a tribute band that is this close to signing the dotted line to be here on that Saturday out at the airport. It gives us an opportunity to just expand and kick off our summer, which again, I've called the longest weekend since I've been here. And tribute bands are very cost effective. It's something that we can get sponsors to bring people in, develop packages. So really excited about that. And hopefully that will be a summer-long concert series. We also have lots of things planned for February, and our hope is by taking 2021 and flushing out all of our events and again promotions, all of which we hope will drive not just traffic but money in the hotels and or an opportunity for us to make monies outside of hotel occupancy, and that all does begin in February. I'll let Ashley talk about the specific titles of that and how we hope to get ahead of the game. You know, again, here we are, January, we've got February, but take February and March, get that on the books, and pre-promote as much as we can under an umbrella. So if things do occur because of COVID, meaning some cancellations, oh well, we still have this umbrella. We still have lots of things cooking, and we can do that based on how we are positioning that through Ashley's efforts and our website, and hopefully it will be something that we can be so good at come July that we're already beginning to think about 2022 and having things on the books. That's it for me. Any questions?
All right. Thank you very much, Joanna.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. And we'll go to Ashley.
Hi, good morning.
How are you? Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is we are starting to resume some of our ads with Hancock, and well, I don't think we really stopped, but we are testing out the waters with additional buys as long as they are extremely cost effective, like the one that we're doing right now with Palestine and Tyler. It's the three of us splitting an ad, so it's extremely cheap and cost effective for us, and it also gives us an opportunity to work on our regional relationships. And so we are promoting Tyler, Palestine, and Nacogdoches for azalea season. Palestine also has their dogwoods, and Tyler also has their roses. And so we are placing this ad, and we also have an advertorial. So we're excited about that additional presence in Texas Monthly. Also, our Meltwater subscription is really coming in handy. They just added on a new free feature. We love free. It gives us alerts when our local influencers are having buzz. So some of our influencers are like SFA, the City of Nacogdoches, KETK, KTRE. If there is buzz going on, then we get an alert that keeps us in the know and keeps us, that way we can have like first word on it type thing. So that's always really good to be able to get ahead of any buzz there might be. And speaking to what Joanna and Sherry have been talking about the events, we are working with Main Street to have a monthly food truck and music event. This will be on the fourth Fridays of each month, and we are calling it Knack Snack Fridays. And so we'll have food trucks around the square, and then music on the back porch, and it's just exciting to get some activity downtown. And this is in response to the city's feelings about, getting action and movement downtown and showing things that are going on. It benefits everyone. It benefits the businesses. It benefits the hotels. So really excited about that. And I know I'm a broken record, but we are still accepting love letters, and I do not have all of the board members' love letters. Actually, I don't think there's anyone on the call that I haven't received one from yet, so I'm sorry that y'all have to hear me talking about it, but our board members, so just if you're watching this, just know I'm going to be reaching out to you soon to chase you down and get that letter, because it would be a real shame if yours weren't in there. I feel like I'm missing something, but I can't remember what it is. So does anyone have any questions for me?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Ashley. And Mr. Bay, I see him. There he is. There's
Good
What's up,
morning.
Mikey.
The Visitor Center continues to receive road trippers. It's been a little slow this part of the month, but we're still getting people, a lot of RVers. Unfortunately, that doesn't help us much with our hot tax, but people are wanting to get out and just do something, and they feel safe coming here, and I think that will continue. There's always something that you don't know about, don't ever think about, but we received last week an envelope addressed to the Charles Bright Visitor Center with all these stamps on it. It was very thick. I could not imagine what it was. And I opened it up, and there was a letter from a gentleman from Henderson, Nevada. And he said, "Dear helpful person, I enjoy collecting squashed pennies from various museums and the like." In other words, our penny machine. "I cannot visit every place in person, so I am asking you if you would press a set of pennies in your machine for me. Please use the $5 for your trouble." He included a $5 bill. "And thank you in advance for your help." There was a card with 8 quarters and 4 pennies taped to a card, a return envelope with postage, and a little thing to put the pennies in. So I did that for him, and I included his $5 back to him when I sent it. And, but anyway, that was kind of fun. There's a website or an app that tells everybody that's interested that we have one of these machines, and it's happened before. People have come in because they knew about it, so it was kind of fun. That's it.
Wow, awesome. That's really cool. Thank you, Mike. I do the same when I travel. I collect those smashed pennies as well. So I share his enthusiasm for smashed currency coins. So very good. Just a couple of things to follow back up on. Sherry, you were going to, when you get with Miss Bartlett, clarify a couple of those questions that Dr. Jack had for us and email back out to us. And I'd also be interested when you have the meeting with Mario and Miss Sal, if it'd be possible that I could join you if I could. I mean, this is a change in a little bit change in our direction. So very interested in making sure that we are keeping with what the changes that they want us to have, and that we have a clear understanding of that, how we need to move forward, because it's important for our future. So I would appreciate that as well. Does anybody have anything else for us? All right. With that, let's talk about our next meeting. How about February 18th, 8:30 a.m. in probably the Webosphere again. So thank you very much, everybody. Good to see everybody this new year, and we are going to stay focused, refocus on what's important for Nacogdoches, and we're going to keep building on our tourism. And I appreciate all the hard work of the staff of CVB, because we're still going. We keep moving forward, and so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And with that, I will call this meeting to adjourn. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Sherry. Thanks, everybody.